Sawadee I'm JP Mestanza. Welcome to Phuket Xtra, brought to you by PSD Windows and Doors. The Civil Aviation Authority of Thailand, the CAAT, they've lifted an entry ban on 4 groups of foreign nationals in line with the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration's easing of COVID-19 travel restrictions. The 4 groups are non-Thai nationals with a certificate of permanent residency, including their spouses and children, non-Thai nationals with work permits, including their spouses and children, non-Thai nationals permitted to enter under a special arrangement, and migrant workers whose employers are allowed to bring in workers. To be allowed to enter Thailand, each person must have a certificate of entry issued by a Thai embassy or consular office in their home country, as well as a health certificate showing the visitor is free of COVID-19 and also a health insurance policy. Upon arriving, the visitors will be quarantined for 14 days at state venues or alternative quarantine locations. Meanwhile, one new coronavirus case has been reported in Thailand. It's a Russian woman who was found infected while in alternative state quarantine facility in Bangkok, bringing the total number of cases nationwide to 3,221, 94% of whom have recovered, and the death toll remains unchanged at 58. No local COVID-19 infections confirmed in Thailand for 71 days now. An off-duty police major was among 3 people shot dead at a gambling den in Bangkok's Yanawa district on Monday night by a losing gambler who was in turn killed by another man now being hunted by police. According to media reports, the shooting took place at a gambling den on Rama 3 Road in Soi 66 at about 10 p.m. after a man drew a gun, claimed he was being cheated, and demanded his money back. Several gunshots were then fired, and 3 people were killed first, including the police officer. And that's when reports say another man killed the losing gambler, a 4th person, before fleeing. A manhunt is now underway. A new update in the infamous fatal hit-and-run case involving Vorayut boss Yuvidya of the Red Bull family in Thailand, as a panel of prosecutors recommended charges of cocaine abuse and reckless driving causing death for boss Red Bull. Back in September 2012, boss Red Bull admitted to running into a police officer on a motorcycle, and the cop died in the crash. Boss hasn't spent the night in jail and evaded 7 hearings. Over the years, the charges were allowed to expire, except for the most egregious charge, that of reckless driving causing death, the statute of limitation of which was not set to expire for another 7 years. But just this past June, prosecutors from the Office of the Attorney General, the OAG, and police decided to drop the charge, causing a heap of criticism, and they say it was all because of new witness testimony. But in the aftermath, 3 separate panels have been assigned or decided to look into the case, the first of which is the OAG themselves. Today, a review of the prosecution by a working group of the Office of the Attorney General, the OAG, they say that they recommend the charge of reckless driving causing death be restored, and also add a new charge related to having cocaine in his system at the time of the crash, a fact that was omitted in the investigation report by police. Boss is the son of Chalem Yuvidya, whose family co-owned Red Bull and ranks 2nd on Thailand's richest list with a net worth estimated at $20 billion. The cabinet on Tuesday approved in principle a public health ministry proposal to amend the Narcotics Act to allow patients, medical practitioners, and traditional healers to grow cannabis for medical and commercial purposes in Thailand. The existing law forced people to work with state agencies to produce, import, or export cannabis, while medical practitioners and folk healers are not allowed to grow cannabis for medical treatment. The draft amendment, if passed, would allow patients with a medical certificate, medical practitioners, and traditional healers or folk healers to grow cannabis for medical treatment. The draft bill would now be forwarded to the Office of the Council of State for examination before being sent to a coordinating House panel for consideration. The panel would then forward it to the lower house. Earlier this week, Paison Dunkam, Secretary General of the Food and Drug Administration, said that the measure would enable manufacturers of medicinal cannabis products to compete in international markets. He said, quote, "This will be another step for our country to become a leader that applies cannabis systematically in the medical field." What are your thoughts on where Thailand is headed in regards to their medical cannabis laws? Let us know in the comments section below. And that's it for Phuket Extra today, brought to you by PSD Windows and Doors. For safe, secure, and soundproof windows, visit pvcphuket.com. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
Phuket's rapid modernization has made it one of the world's premier holiday destinations. Investors can still buy quality condominiums for as low as $75,000, and luxury properties can go all the way up to 20 million. Condominiums in Phuket are a safe, secure bricks and mortar investment offering foreigners freehold ownership. Call or email Thai Residential, Phuket's #1 trusted real estate advisor, to find your perfect Phuket property.